Good morning, students. Welcome to today's session. Last class we have discussed about Frederick Sorio's utopian vision, French revolutionaries' measures to create a sense of collective belonging, and Napoleonic Code. Today's class we will discuss how the idea of nationalism has emerged in Europe. What are the measures or what are the reasons which has led to the emergence of nation states in Europe? As you can see in the map here, which you have even in your textbook, and it's figure 3, Europe after Congress of Vienna 1815. So in the year 1815, this was the Europe where you can find Russian Empire, Ottoman Empire, Austrian Empire, also known as Habsburg Empire. Then France comes under Bourbon dynasty. So you can see clearly different empires, in the sense it is under monarchical rule. So the Europe, which is under monarchical rule, how it has turned into nation states, and at the same time different new nations you can find here. And this is the present map of Europe. So you can find Germany, Italy, Poland, Latvia, Finland, Estonia, and lot many new nation states in Europe compared to this 1815 map. So today's class we will discuss what are the changes, or who brought these changes within Europe, what made Europe to turn into a nation state. Here, as the heading shows in this section, the making of nationalism in Europe. In this section, it's clearly explained how the Europe in the year 1815, how the people are been living without the idea of nation states. As you can see here, there are no nation states. And at the present day, we have Germany, Italy, Switzerland in separate countries. But at that time, they were divided into kingdoms, duchies, and cantons. So most of the Eastern and Central Europe, there were autocratic monarchies. Here, autocratic in the sense monarchical rule, where all the powers are in the hands of a single person. So in other words, monarchical rule. There was no feeling of collective identity among the people. People used to speak different languages. As I said, Austria and Hungary in the map. So it comes under Habsburg Empire. It's a patchwork of different regions and people. So as you can see, they have written Tyrol, Austria, Sudetenland, different regions which are part of Austria and Hungary, and different language speaking people. So there you can find German speaking people, there you can find Italian speaking people, and even Hungary, they spoke Magyar, and in Galicia people spoke Polish language. So different language people, different cultures, and different ethnic groups, they were all living together without a feeling of collective identity, and there was no feeling of political unity among them. Reason, they were under different rulers. As you can see, the condition of India, even India also you can find lot of diversity, different people belonging to different regions, different languages, different cultures. During the time of Britishers rule, you remember in your class 8 you have studied. So at that time, people have united together with a feeling of anti-colonialism. They were all against the Britishers. So that feeling has created a sense of collective identity, that we are all Indians and we should fight, and we got the freedom. In the same way, even in Europe also, here also different empires and different language speaking people, different culture people, ethnic groups are living together without a sense of political unity. So what is the thing binding them is only the allegiance towards the emperor. Here, allegiance in the sense loyalty or commitment towards the superior. They have to show loyalty to the superior, so they are showing it, but that's it. Otherwise, they don't have a feeling, a sense of collective belonging, that this is my country, this is my country. A patriotic feeling was not there among them. So then how did this nationalism and the idea of nation state emerge is our topic. I hope you have understood here. So in this paragraph we have discussed how different language speaking people are living together collectively without a sense of political unity, and only one thing binding them was the allegiance to the emperor. Then how this idea of nationalism and the nation state emerged is our next topic. So here you can see that that is our next topic, the aristocracy and the new class. And aristocracy in the sense the higher section of society are the rich people, we can say the rich people, nobility. So the aristocracy, nobility, and if you remember, as again, and we need to recollect class 9th lesson where we have studied estate. We have studied about first estate, second estate, third estate. First and second estate consist of nobility and clergy. The rich people, they are enjoying all the birthright privileges, whereas third estate consists of traders, businessmen, workers who had to work hard and pay the taxes to them. Remember, so in ancient time, the society was divided into only two sections. One is rich society and the poor society. When it comes to aristocracy, though these people are very less in number, it's a very small group, less in number, and these people have shared a commonness among them. They have shared a common feeling among them. Like you can again recollect class 9th, Louis XVI got married to Austrian princess. So they often connected by the ties of marriage. And when revolutionaries gone against the king, and when they set up constitutional monarchy, even Prussia and Austria wanted to help Louis XVI. Can you recollect? Which clearly shows that the aristocracy, the higher section of the society, is very closely bound together. Though they belong to different empires, they were together. So here, that is what they are trying to explain here. Was a dominant class. It was a dominant class, but these members were united by a common way of life, and they owned estates in the countryside, and they spoke French for the purpose of diplomacy and high society. Though these are very less number of people, they have made a lot of impact on the overall Europe belonging to different. Whereas majority of the population consists of peasantry, the people who have to work hard, who have to toil, who have to pay the taxes. Then how did this happen? How did this change happen? The change happened because of industrialization. So first, Western and parts of Central Europe, the first growth of industrial production started. Industrialization began in England. First, you remember steam engine invented in England, and then slowly industry started booming up. Then once industrialization came up, a new section of the society has emerged, and we call that new section of the society as the middle class, a class consisting of working class population made up of industrialists, businessmen and professionals. Again, we need to go back to a class 9th recollect. If you can remember, third estates general meeting time, third estate people, and in that also only educated ones have raised a question in the meeting asking for each person one vote. Instead of each estate one vote, they asked for each representative one vote, inspired by the book written by John Jacques Rousseau, Montesquieu, John Locke. Do you remember these are the philosophers who have written the books, and people educated middle class have studied, they got enlightened, and they raised the question, and they started questioning the clergy and the nobility. Can you recollect that? So these are the educated people who are turned out to be middle class. They are neither poor, and these aristocrats are not allowing them into their group. So this is the section of the society which wanted to bring a change within the Europe. So we can see the educated liberal middle classes have brought this idea of national unity, and then they wanted to abolish the privileges of aristocrats. Hope you have understood till here.